desert blind, whispers of a twisted mind, found paradise in hell, stories only he could tell. Dream followed his unholy scheme, promised lands through bloody hands, swept beneath the devil's plans. Manson shadows on the wall, closer to the fall. Twisted preacher in the night, spreading chaos with delight. Desert nights in the eerie chance, serpent's eyes in a devil's glance, heavens shattered by his word, preaching madness so absurd. Hope crushed in wicked fire, lost soul swayed by desire. In the dark they found their king, caught in webs his lies would bring. Children's laughter turns to cries, echoes of the night's disguise, promises of pain and chains, left them wandering insane.
Yeah, so just looking at what people are saying in the chat. It sounds good as a band. So what did they did a movie? What is the band? Did they just do the soundtrack or what is it? Their movie? I don't know. That's it. Yeah, let's look it up. I was gonna do reviews of a lot of documentaries, but then I found out about you could use the ChatGPT to analyze forensic details, and that took me down another rabbit hole. So I started making that to other streams, but I won't get around to doing that. Talking about the Manson documentaries. Gotta find the one Linda Kasabian narrates because that's quite mind blowing, isn't it? It's called "The Night We Killed Sharon Tate" or something like that. So oh my god, the one who walked. It is their movie. Yeah, they made the movie. Yeah, let's look it up. That Charlene Kafritz's niece's band are interesting as well. I can't remember what they were called now. But yeah, they were and they still do. Yeah, you can order tapes from them and that on Bandcamp still. They still exist out there. But yeah, they don't reference Manson in anything, I don't think, no. And she was only married to the guy for a short while as well. She wasn't really involved with their family for very long. So yeah, I don't know how much she wants to be connected to it, yeah. Yeah. Don't know. That's what like, yeah, but they used the footage of Manson in their film, did they? Well, there's actual footage of what from the Hendrickson documentary or footage of their trials or whatever, yeah. Let's have a look. See, it's 1:15 here, so I won't go very long. But I'll give you a little bit of an after show. Because I'm not going to go to the thing tomorrow morning because the weather's terrible here. There's a big storm going to hit us apparently, so fuck that, going out early in the morning. Yeah, and it's interesting trying to track down any other reference to exactly what Tex did other than his own book, because yeah. And I've got to find that thing where Paul Crockett talks about him being at Gola Wash, working on a dune buggy, because it's that while he was at Gola Wash that it could be, couldn't it? Rather than at Barker Ranch. Because Charlie went to that place where Tex was as well, according to Diane Lake's book. More than Tex says. And Tex doesn't name any of the other people that showed up as well. Diane Lake names more people in her book. It's a confusing situation. Yeah. Oh, it's really cold here. And yeah, there's a storm hitting the south of England. Overnight tonight, it's really windy. And the rain. Well, the rain it wasn't really that heavy, but yeah, it's raining constantly as well. So that's fun. It's going to rain for days, apparently, which is typical winter here. Yeah, it does. It hallucinates, doesn't it? Yeah, and it just will make things just to make the point sound good. It will say random shit. Yeah, you can't fucking rely on it for anything. Yeah, well, ChatGPT is getting a lot of bad shit at the moment because terrible stuff's come out. Like there was a lad who was suicidal and he was talking to it about it, and it ended up telling him not to talk to his relatives, and helped him compose his suicide note and shit like that. Yeah, so they're working on it all the time, changing it because it messes people up. Think about people getting the fucking AI psychosis as well. People like falling in love with it or thinking that they're communicating with some entity or whatever. Because it's designed to keep you interacting with it, innit? So it will say yes to anything. It will, it'll agree with you. It's getting disturbing. Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, yeah, no, we don't get any snow down here really generally because it's too much salt in the air. It has to be really bad for it to snow here. I've seen a bit of snow, but it didn't settle.
Well, you've also got that current coming in off the ocean that kind of keeps it a little bit more temperate.
Yeah.
Lots of rain though. Yeah, moving boxes around. Yeah, we got really nice weather, so we're taking advantage of that in the next couple of days and doing the big move. So yeah, we were talking about Tex's book, and it really doesn't have much information in it that isn't in Helter Skelter from what I remember.
No, that's it. Yeah, and this stuff about Barker Ranch is right at the very beginning of it as well. You don't have to read very far because this is like where it starts.
That's odd.
He talks about being at this place, near this place. What was it called? It's a weird place, weird sounding name, Oshanta or something like that. Yeah, in Gola Wash somewhere. But he sends him off on his own, and he's left on his own for a while. Then they all show up, and then he apparently just flees and hitches back to LA.
And so I don't remember, did he discuss that in his book at all? Like when he left Barker Ranch?
He didn't get to Barker Ranch. He left this. He says in his book, he fled from this place in Gola Wash that he was. Because I misremembered it. I thought he sent him to Maya's ranch.
In my mind, I kind of thought Tex had shown up out there and had spent some time with them there and then just kind of drifted away. It's never clear on that timeline, really.
No. According to his book, he gets sent to this place in Gola Wash. And Diane Lake backs that up as well because she remembers going and being sent to stay with him for a little while. And he says he leaves from there. But the way she tells it, it sounds like he left with them and went to Barker Ranch. But I don't think he did get to Barker Ranch. I think he's telling the truth and he fled from this place in Gola Wash. When he saw the newspaper articles and he realised, they were finding out about the murders, he started to get paranoid.
Well, yeah. Because, I mean, he's the one with all the connection to everybody. He was the one that was connected to the Golden Penetrators, to Melcher and Jacobson and Dennis Wilson. He was the one that was connected to Dean Morehouse. And the victims of CLO Drive through Melcher and them. He knew them first, knew that house, and
Yeah,
he
really well, didn't he? Had lived
was
there at certain points and
Mhm.
that, yeah.
Yeah, and he was more connected to the victims over on Waverly too, and Harold True and all that.
Yeah, well, it's like really impossible to prove, isn't it? But did he really know Joe Dorgan as well? I'd love to be able to prove decisively if he actually knew Joe Dorgan, because
Well,
that's intriguing, isn't it? Yeah.
and if Joe Dorgan was working with the Straight Satans, as has been
Yeah.
implied in more than one occasion, it's like, I mean, had Joe Dorgan been up to Spawn Ranch?
But I can't believe that Susan Struthers, Rosemary LaBianca's daughter, would do that just out of Christian forgiveness as well. He must have had something on her. He must have had something to blackmail her with. So soon after the murders as well, comparatively, wasn't it? Because that was sometime in the 80s. It wasn't even that long after, comparatively,
Yeah, that whole scene's very strange with
It does,
that,
doesn't it? Yeah.
and I get it as, someone working in my own program of recovery, looking at resentments and how they keep you sick. I can see how maybe if
Yeah.
Susan had been working on a program of recovery from her
Yeah.
mother's death and from maybe even her part in it, that she would realize that she had to forgive the principals involved for her own sake. So that might be part of it. But she took it to an extreme by,
Yeah, to
you
make a
could,
statement like that. And she made friends with Patty Tate, didn't she?
right?
And
Yep.
tried to get her kid on play dates and that, and that was like she went really far, didn't she?
Very, very, yeah.
And so it seems like just a really weird thing to do in it. Yeah, because I can understand internally having to forgive him, privately forgiving him. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
You can forgive
maybe
someone without making a giant statement and going to their parole hearings and trying to get the parole
and
board
sitting
to
in front
give
of Sharon
release.
Tate's mother and saying all that, and
Right.
bloody hell, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely something there. We talked about the MK Ultra thing earlier. Really, my focus has shifted, and if there's an MK Ultra angle in this, it's really Tex.
Yeah, I think definitely he's the one that's got more potential for having stumbled into some,
And
experiment.
he's the actual drug dealer in all
He's
this.
the one that seems to have more connections than he's ever admitted, obviously. Yeah, he denies it.
Sure. And then also with what happened to him after he got incarcerated and was put in that mental institution, it just reeks of being jollied.
Yeah. Or something. And like I say, I find it really strange that every other case where there's any kind of brainwashing involved, Johnny West is all over it, like Patty Hearst and Jack
Right.
Ruby and everything. But this case, you hear nothing about him being involved. And he was there. He was in California at the time and all that. Why not? It seems like they had to keep him out of it because he was involved in repressing evidence or whatever. They didn't want it to be known that he was involved. It was covered up.
Just the very basis of like what Operation Chaos and what Midnight Climax and COINTELPRO, all that stuff, and MK Ultra.
In that Chaos documentary, there is some tape of Johnny West talking about some of that shit. So it's worth watching just for that. I don't think he's really connected to the Manson case enough for that documentary to have invested so much time in him. But the tapes are interesting. There's tapes of him talking about what he did at Haight-Ashbury and all that sort of thing. It's some lecture he gave,
And the fact that MK Ultra was basically the point of it, the ultimate goal was to brainwash people without their knowledge using LSD to turn them into trained killers.
Yeah.
And that's what they're claiming Charles Manson did.
And there's that proposal for the room he was trying to build that was meant to make people forget things and induce amnesia and all this sort of shit. And that's insane, isn't it? To find he actually proposed that. But that in itself is not evidence he achieved that. That's just evidence that's what he was after doing.
That was what he was trying to do.
And they approved it as well by the looks of it. They funded it, so he did it.
Sure. That's why they don't want people making that connection, because it just it opens up too many doors to start poking the holes in this helter-skelter narrative that they've formed.
Yeah, that's it. Because I don't think because Tex wasn't really like a criminal at heart. He wasn't like a biker. He wasn't a 1%er. He didn't care. He would just have told the truth, I reckon.
He was a little boy. We established that he was an emotionally needy person who fell in with people who would accommodate that and take advantage of it and use him for that. And he, like you said, he never had a place of his own. He was always living with women or with other people, having, he had that mama's boy syndrome, like take care of me. It was always with like older women too that
Yeah.
would keep him subservient, you know,
Yeah.
or in a dynamic like the family where he was never going to be looked at as the leader.
Yeah.
So that's who Tex was. He was a stumbling, bumbling child king
Yeah.
baby.
That's it. And I can't, I have trouble believing as well that he was trying to like become some kind of drug kingpin as well. I think he dealt to
Was
cover his own habits and just to be popular or whatever. I don't think that he was really.
a means to an end. It's a
Yeah.
decent way to have spending money and have girls and have connections and feel like a big shot. Everybody's the man for a minute. I know
Yeah.
that. So
And there's other crimes as well that he's never been like convicted of, like it, but the people getting beaten, tied and beaten and robbed and shit like that. And it looks like it might have been Tex before the Cielo Drive thing went on. You know, he was already robbing people for drugs and shit.
well, it might have been.
We know
Tex
about the
and-
Bernie Crow thing, don't we? Yeah.
I was just going to say, Tex and Bernard Crow may have been working together on a level we don't realize up until Tex turned on Bernard Crow. And
yeah. Well, Rosina, I want to know why he did that to Rosina, because that humiliated Rosina, obviously, didn't it? Because he needed Rosina to make the connection, and she introduced him to Bernie Crow, didn't she? Yeah. But the girls say they knew him as well. I've heard girls saying that they knew him, and he was like the black member of the family or something. And he was involved in credit card fraud. I know that was what he ultimately went to prison for. And they were into credit cards, weren't they? So
They
I wonder
were all into
through
that.
were they connected? Yeah.
They were all into that.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And so also Bernard Crow, I don't know is that he didn't have other connections. And I'm not saying that he was actually a Black Panther, but he may not have been just your basic middleman muling drug dealer on Waverly Drive either. He may have had some other connections as well, and that's why that was such a big deal that they.
I wonder if he knew Dick Dawson as well and the Canadians. I wonder if he knew all that lot. Yeah, because people saying he was a heroin dealer. Pick Dawson sold heroin as well, so were they all connected through that? Yeah.
Just like anybody, they all sell whatever anybody will buy. And, you know, if you're going to make a stop somewhere, especially in Hollywood at that time, you may as well carry an assorted multitude of various chemical sundries with you in case anybody might want whatever.
Yeah.
And so, they dealt whatever, but lots of Papa, that name to me implies somebody that sells heroin.
Yeah.
Or somebody that I'd go buy dope from.
Yeah. Yeah, well, who knows? Obviously, Weedy was involved with weed, wasn't he? He wanted because it was weed he was trying to buy from Tex. We know that.
And the mescaline, they were all involved.
But Cass Elliot liked heroin as well, didn't she? And it says in her biography, she at one point had a heroin dealer living in the flat above her garage at one of her houses, and that. Yeah.
I don't know anybody who's in great inner turmoil that has ever done heroin that didn't love it.
Yeah, that's it. And well, she was apparently spiked with it initially by Pick Dawson as well. And
thought it was cocaine.
That's how he got her into it. Yeah. Well, he put it in a drink or something. She didn't know it was in it.
Wow. That's how John Frusciante killed River Phoenix.
Yeah, well, he'd already done a speedball or whatever, hadn't he, out the back, and then someone handed him another glass with more heroin in it, and people thought he'd just fallen asleep. Didn't realize.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've always bloody suspected maybe Johnny Depp as well. Have you heard that theory? Johnny Depp, because he was there that night. His band played.
Well, it was his club. It was Johnny Depp's club.
But he was actually there as well. He was there because his band played that night.
Johnny Depp was playing with Flea. Actually, it was Flea and Gibby Haynes from the Butthole Surfers with Johnny Depp, and they were going to have River Phoenix get up and jam with him. But when River Phoenix got there, he was already too fucked up. And Flea says, "Hey, we're not going to have you play tonight." And John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers is the one that gave him the cup that he drank.
No, listen to this. Listen, you didn't let me finish, right? And Johnny Depp said he was River Phoenix was obviously a better actor than him. It was showing him up. He was fucking outshone all the actors, didn't he? And he was about to get cast in a film as Winona Ryder's love interest. And Johnny Depp was with Winona Ryder at the time, and he was jealous. That's why they reckon that Johnny Depp might have had reason to, but I find it difficult to believe.
Yeah, that's not. Whatever.
I think that the Red Hot Chili Peppers are more nasty. the Red Hot Chili Peppers are nastier people. I can imagine them doing it. Yeah.
John Frusciante was in a really bad way at that time.
Probably not meaning to kill him as well. Probably not
at all.
realizing he'd already done heroin. Maybe not realizing how much heroin
They
he'd
were
already
all
done.
doing dope together, and they were all like, "Hey, here, take this and be fucked up with me," and yada yada.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
this is good shit right here, and
yeah.
they were kids really at that time.
Yeah.
John Frusciante was probably 23 years old, 22. River Phoenix wasn't much older, if at all. Wasn't he like 22 or 23, something like that?
Yeah, he was really young. Yeah,
He was
and
young.
It sounds like they just no one noticed he was actually ODing until he started convulsing, and so like he was there for. He must have been there for a long time, looking like he was asleep. So that's the thing that gets me, because he was sat in the main club when he actually sort of went into the overdose, wasn't he? And and the 999 call was really harrowing. His poor brother, because he was convulsing on the pavement outside when they took him outside.
Yeah, that 911 call is pretty harrowing.
Yeah.
Crow's name was never mentioned by Billy Doyle, Pick Dawson, or Bill Reinhardt in their LAPD interviews. I bet not. Yeah,
well, they don't fucking mention anyone, do they? Yeah.
I don't think I've ever told my drug dealer's name to the police, not once in my life.
Yeah.
Never, ever, never.
That's it. And Cruiser said they're just beer drinking Irishmen. They're just good working class stock sort of thing. Yeah, they didn't mention any sort of drugs, did they?
Yeah. Acapella, the Pick Dawson interview. I never could listen to it because it's just so hard.
Is there I've never even, I didn't realize that there was even one available. The Billy Doyle interview, you can hear him quite well, can't you? I didn't realize there even was one of Pick Dawson. But yeah, you can't hear him apparently, because some of them there's these terrible secondhand tapes that someone's got, and they've still bothered to put them online, but it's not really worth it. The Ruth Ann Morehouse one is also very hard to listen to. You can't hear her.
The Pick Dawson one's even worse than that.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah, they don't want us finding something out about him. There's a lot of stuff that they're trying to hide about him. You find out more about him through his connection to Mama Cass than anything else, but yeah. But the people that knew Harrigan and Doyle that I spoke to didn't know anything about Pick Dawson. He doesn't seem to be very, very connected to Harrigan and Doyle, really. They were just like loosely associated. Though Pick Dawson and Billy Doyle both dated Mama Cass at the same time, so they must have been working together, in some ways.
I mean, there might be movies of the three of them all together,
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, apparently Doyle's son has all the photos of Billy Doyle with everyone, and that, but he didn't want any of it released, so it's really not going to get released, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that because those pictures are going to paint a different narrative than the one that we've all been given.
Yeah, definitely. I've got to look into Steve Brandt as well, the guy that Michael Caine mentions in his biography. Because he knew Sharon Tate. There's photos of him taking Sharon Tate to premieres and that. He was really close to Sharon Tate and everything. And he committed suicide, weirdly, after the murders, didn't he? And Michael Caine says it's because he thought he was on the death list. But I think it's more than that. He knew something or whatever, yeah. And it makes you wonder, did he commit suicide even? Was he about to speak, so someone bumped him off?
Right.
Got to cover that, the situation with Steve Brandt. That was weird.
Acapella asked, did Cass ever talk about what the police asked her during her hotel towel interrogation? No doubt all about Pick Dawson. I don't know anything about
in her biography, it says that, it says she was really just grilled about Pick Dawson the whole time. That was all they wanted to know, was about Pick Dawson, and she made up the thing about the towel. But she was arrested because she gave him the money to pay the bill, and he just fucked off with the money and didn't pay the bill, so she was arrested over that. They just grilled her for hours about Pick Dawson, apparently. That was all that was about,
Checks out.
Yeah. Well, awful people, should I say, not awesome. Horrible people, the way they treated her.
She kind of accommodated it because she was so insecure,
Yeah, well, she was too nice to people, weren't she? Too hospitable, I think.
Yeah.
Probably lonely, though, didn't want to be lonely.
Well, even her own bandmates were terrible to her. John Phillips was a terrible person and was terrible to everybody, but...
Yeah, he was horrible to her while she was pregnant and that, because he had no sympathy for her being unmarried. He couldn't believe she'd had a baby without a husband, so he had no sympathy for her at all.
And it's like, meanwhile, his wife was literally banging everyone in town, and so was he.
And he left his wife with kids for Michelle Phillips, didn't he? He had a wife and kids before that.
absolutely.
Yeah, and he abandoned them for Michelle Phillips.
Yeah. Thought John Phillips won Father of the Year.
But he didn't abandon them, did he? No, yeah, because he went on to have an incestuous relationship with his daughter. My God.
Yeah, they'd have been better off being abandoned.
Yeah. Feel so sorry for them because Michelle Phillips looks like a crazy, unstable one as well, don't she? It must have been awful. Imagine
Well,
your parents being John and Michelle Phillips. China Phillips has done really well for herself, considering, hasn't she?
Not just the molestation or incestuous relationship part of things, but you know, Mackenzie Phillips was given drugs at a very, very early age and consistently. And I want to say she was on one day at a time when she was like 15 or 16 years old and was already a full-blown cocaine addict by the time she was working on that show. So
yeah, well, a lot of them were, weren't they? There's another girl, a young girl who died really young. She was on one of these shows as well, yeah, from as a child star, and she ended up living.
Dana Plato from Different Strokes.
Yeah.
There's a few of them, but yeah, Dana. She went on Howard Stern after getting arrested, and Howard Stern made fun of her for like doing porn and like how her career came out and whatever. And the very next day, she committed suicide.
Yeah.
So Howard Stern's a pretty particular piece of shit kind of guy.
Yeah, he's a horrible man.
So.
But those type of DJs, it's exploitation, isn't it? They say, and that's the one where Quentin Tarantino went on his show, didn't he, and said that it was all right rape because the girl Roman Polanski raped was down with it. She was, but it was statutory rape. It doesn't matter
when
if
you're
she consented.
13 years old, you cannot consent to sex.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and she didn't even. He had to coerce her. He had to give her half a Quaalude and drink her and get her to drink and
smoke weed and take Quaalude.
She didn't want to. She was saying, "No, I've got a boyfriend. I don't want to."
Right. Yeah, that was all a lie. Yeah. James Watson says Brian Wilson tried to give his young daughters drugs once, and the bad thing was he was still a better father than John Phillips. Brian Wilson didn't leave his bedroom for 5 fucking years and was still a better father than John Phillips was. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I do really good at separating the art from the artist, so like I love his songs.
Well, you have to, don't you? All the stuff I found out about Bowie, I used to really love David Bowie, but and I still think he's good because he was about making it seem like it's okay to be different. That was the thing that I took away from a lot of Bowie's work. He was.
I think they were very well written songs and very well composed and great performances with a lot of energy. But he
took credit for other people's arrangements as well, though. He only wrote the chords and he took a lot of credit for other people's arrangements. But his lyrics and his singing was what really
for sure
sold it to me.
And then
anyway,
Frank Zappa's another one. Who's like I love his music, but not so much the person that he was.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Anissa Jones. She's the one. Anissa, another one who was really young. She was like literally only about 18 when she died of a drug overdose.
I don't know who that is.
Anissa Jones. Yeah, she was in one of these shows as well. Yeah.
It's hilarious reading
from the show Family Affair. Family Affair. The show was called in the late 60s.
Oh, okay.
So pretty before our time. Yeah.
Before our time.
Tatum.
Tatum O'Neal.
Tatum O'Neal, yeah, and he had an inappropriate relationship with her. It sounds like her father treated her like she was his date at parties and stuff like that, and that it seemed to have messed her up. Another incestuous thing. Blokes who think they're entitled to do what they want to their own daughter or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, Ollie, I got that David Bowie Rock and Roll Star. It's a single LP out of the box set that like compiles a bunch of demos and stuff, remixes. It was pretty cool. Lola, shut up. My dog's being stupid. But yeah, no, there's so many of those child actors who got screwed up like that, and we used to make a joke about it, like, "Oh, what's up with child actors?" Blah, 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 but
they've been shared. I've seen it a lot on Facebook. They've been sharing him a lot. There's some lad that was on Nickelodeon, and he's on the streets, homeless now. He looks like he's got some kind of serious problem though. It's not just drugs. He's autistic or something. He needs not just rehab. He needs
mental
extreme
help.
Treatment, extreme mental help. And there's people are just doing GoFundMes and handing him money and they put him in a hotel room, and he's just smashed up the hotel room and left, and that, you know, he's not getting the right sort of help. It's terrible. Poor lad, he's on the streets, and he was on Nickelodeon when he was a teenager.
A lot of the either you become a full blown star like Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears or whatever as you get older.
He looks a fucking mess now as well, though, doesn't he? What the fuck's happened to Justin Timberlake? Yeah, they all look a mess. Yeah. And Britney Spears, she's completely insane now, isn't she, by the looks of things? People are arguing over whether it's even really her that we're seeing as well now. The person that's making the TikTok videos and that, is it even her? And oh, fucking hell.
Well, and then I just watched a video. This guy's called Jake the Awake.
Yeah.
And I like him. He's pretty sensible, it seems. And he's breaking down that Minnesota ICE shooting. And the way he breaks it down, he's like, did this even really happen? Do we actually see any shots?
I talk about wedge issues. They do these things when they want to distract you from something, highly emotive issues, and it's things around immigration, things around LGBTQ issues, things around violent crime. So it looks like it's a distraction.
What kind of taxes? What kind of taxes are they pushing through now?
It's been done as a distraction.
Looking at that.
But I can really believe they shot a woman in the head just to create a distraction. But I do think someone probably died. Yeah, but it's I think it's been done deliberately. To create a distraction.
Would not surprise me. So there's a lot to all that. Now people, I think they understand too, with Helter Skelter, that people will believe anything that's put on TV. And
that's
even if they don't, and other people like, okay, so we're all on here and like I read all these comments, and so many people are obviously in tune with what's going on and have a really, they can tell, they can see. They don't care because we're fringe and it adds to the divide. You've got the one people who believe in Helter Skelter and they're like, no, this is what happened. I read Vincent Bugliosi's book. And then you've got us over here. And then you've got all the people in the middle who are just like shrugging their shoulders going, oh, I don't care.
Well, why does it matter? Yeah, it was 50 years ago. Yeah.
That's And then this happens, and they're the ones that are going, oh, and they're getting all upset about
well, as long as the right people are in prison, why does it matter? What matters? It's like, but fucking no, it does matter because fucking they've lied to us entirely about what happened. And if they could do that with this, what else was a fucking lie? And they've covered it up. Really, what actually happened?
They're still lying to us. That's the thing. And
so it's important to examine what they did here, how they covered it up, what they did. This is why we need to talk about it.
What's really going on here? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we're absolutely right, or and sometimes me and Nancy don't even agree 100%.
Yeah, well, no one has all the answers, do they?
And then you've got folks over here who are saying, no, well, this is what I think. I think this, and so that's okay because we're all questioning, and we're all looking, and that's what's important. We're not always all going to agree. But
on Substack, there's people questioning what I say on Substack as well, just saying, oh, well, it seems like a stretch, but fucking Helter Skelter seems like a stretch and sounds far fetched if you analyze it, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's the thing that doesn't make any sense to me.
But just me trying to explain how, like, the reason that they lie still at parole hearings, the reason why Tex and Patricia haven't told the fucking truth after all these years, and it's because they have to talk about what they were convicted of. But people can't even grasp that. They're still saying, "Oh, that still sounds like too much of a stretch."
Oh yeah, no, they don't want to hear anything in this hearings other than this is exactly what I did. I did what I'm convicted of, and I'm sorry, and this is what I'll do to make sure that never happens again. And anything else other than that looks like justification or that you're trying to make excuses for what you did or not be accountable.
Yeah, and I find it really interesting that you see interviews with all the rest of them. Until except Patricia Krenwinkel, until the 90s, then she suddenly starts talking, but you don't see anything from her in the 70s or the 80s, really, do you? So it's like, was she refusing to toe the line until the 90s? Did some lawyer finally convince her, look, you've got to start saying it, otherwise you're never going to get considered for parole seriously. You've got to toe the line.
And it's funny how pretty much as soon as Patricia and Leslie did start talking, Susan stopped.
Yeah, well, she was snitching, wasn't she? She was accused of snitching. by them, apparently, because they were all locked up together, and that was all they had, the only company they had, wasn't it? And they refused to speak to her. Krenwinkel and Leslie refused to talk to her because she
I
had
bet.
snitched after she did the grand jury. So for all those months, they weren't actually even talking to Susan. They wouldn't talk to her.
That's
Must have
funny.
been maddening. That's the only people that she had to see, because they weren't with the other prisoners they were kept in. Except when she was like on hospital wings and that, then she was in with other girls. But yeah.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for Susan, so.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I do. But once I realised how fucking vulnerable she really was, though, how fucking retarded she was, that I think she was totally
She was crazy.
fucking. Yeah, she shouldn't have been in that place. She should have had more fucking intervention beforehand. The court should have done more. There's a newspaper article from where her dad gets interviewed, and this is at the Hinman trial, though. I think it's not to do with the Tate LaBianca trial. But he says, I was appealing to the courts for years saying there's something wrong with her. You need to do something about her, but they won't do anything. Because her dad's portrayed as like a deadbeat that got drunk and just let her run wild. But no, apparently he was trying.
He was
But
trying.
what can you do? You can't lock them in a room. That's illegal. That's it.
What happened was her mom died. Her mom died of cancer. And that just blew her world apart. And she never recovered from that.
Yeah.
And what can you do about that?
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody isn't willing to look at themselves and say, I'm the one that has the issue with whatever's going
she
on.
had fetal alcohol as well. Her mother was an alcoholic. Her mother drank when she was pregnant. She had fetal alcohol. So she wasn't just a normal girl as well. This is what people say. This is what you got to understand about her.
That checks out.
She was so like would have had like severe. Her mental age was not what it should have been and all that sort of thing.
And so many people from back then have the fetal alcohol thing going on, and it went undiagnosed.
Because you weren't advised not to drink back then, were you? Even so
Remember to eat a green thing every day and have lots of calcium. It's very important for young mothers to have lots of calcium. There you are. See you tomorrow night.
Bye.
How are you this evening?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Be going a lot better when I get off in a couple of hours.
Yeah, I hear that.
You're 18, right?
Oh, yeah.
people just kept drinking.
If you just cut back.
Yeah.
I remember this. If you quit by the third trimester. I mean, Charlie may have been a fetal alcohol
I think
baby.
Charlie looks like he was. Yeah, when I look at the we'll never bloody know, will we? They never. What his diagnosis and all these things was, what they actually found about him. You know, the psychiatry reports that we get are limited. Anything they have shown, but I reckon that he had some sort of autism or something like that. Yeah, probably fetal alcohol if she drank while she was pregnant with him, maybe.
And,
but his jaw looks really small if you look at him. That's one of the signs is if your jaw's small. And Susan Atkins has definitely got it. And because I was looking through pictures of them all in court, trying to find pictures of Susan where it looks like she has fetal alcohol syndrome. You can see her face. And I was flicking through and I noticed Charlie has it as well. I was like, bloody hell, yeah, no, that makes sense. That would explain a lot about Charlie's behaviour as well. If he was autistic or something, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And he's also got that kind of cross-eyed thing going on a little bit, you know.
Yeah. And obviously, the erratic speech and everything. It all makes sense. It does make sense.
And Kathleen Maddox doesn't seem like she was really concerned with his health, at all.
Good. Well, we've been going for 42 minutes. I'm pretty tired. I want to go put my electric blanket on. Warm the bed up before I go to bed.
I gotta get back to packing.
But it's because you're trying to pack for your move. Are you still moving? Blimey.
Yeah. Move should be all done by Tuesday night, Wednesday morning-ish.
Yeah.
And I'll be the next time y'all see me, I'll be in my new spot. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, in the creek don't rise.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to look into Paul Crockett's stuff more. What Paul Crockett said as well, because that's interesting. And Brooks Poston. I did a stream where we listened to Brooks Poston. You can hear Brooks Poston's interview, and he says interesting stuff about the way it was, at the ranch and how Charlie controlled them and that. And
I like
So,
the
yeah.
idea of looking at Al Springer's interview a little closely. Or
Yeah, and because
bit
the
more
recording of
closely.
Paul Crockett, I'll see how good the sound quality of the Paul Crockett one is, because there's a transcript of it as well. I've read the transcript. But I want to find this stuff where he talks about working on a dune buggy with Tex to find out if that was at Gola Wash. So I think it was probably at Gola Wash, not at Barker Ranch.
Mm.
But yeah, I've got to look into that. But anyway, yeah, I'll wrap this up now. Thanks for coming there, everyone. And I'll see you next week.
Be safe, y'all.
Yeah. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Yeah.